Hello, so today for you is going to be Tuesday, and what you're going to be doing today is looking at the area of shapes that aren't quite as simple as we looked at yesterday. Now, the reason why these shapes are more complicated is actually it's very difficult to work out the area of one of these when we're just multiplying. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to split it up into shapes that we already know how to work the area out, be that squares or rectangles. Now for this first one I'm going to split it so that I have a square and a rectangle. As you can now see, I have a square here and I have a rectangle here. Now I can work out the individual areas of both of these shapes and then I can add them both together at the end to give me my final answer. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work out the area of this square here. To do that I'm going to multiply 5 by 5. So up here I'm just going to do my multiplication. 5 times by 5 gives me an answer of 25 centimeters squared. Do not forget those units. So that is the area of this square just here. I'm going to write it on there just so I remind myself. For this shape here, the rectangle, I'm going to be doing 5 times by 10, which again is a nice easy multiplication. Gives me an answer of 50 centimeters squared. And my final thing that I need to do is I need to add up both of these areas to give me the area of the entire shape. So that gives me an answer of 75 centimeters squared. So the entire shape altogether, when I've added these two individual areas together, is 25 centimeters squared. Now, and another example for you is this one just here. Now, it's a similar looking shape, apart from the fact, obviously, we've got different lengths for every single one here. Now, again, I'm going to split it up into two shapes that I know I can find the area of. I'm going to split mine here, which is going to give me two rectangles. I could also have split the shape here as well if I wanted to, but I'm going to do this one. The first multiplication that I'm going to do, I've got 4 centimeters at the top, I've got 5 centimeters down the side here, so it's going to be 4 times 5, which gives me an answer of 20 centimeters squared. Almost run out of space there. So the area of this shape here, this rectangle, is 25 centimeters squared. I've now still got to work out the area of this bottom rectangle. Now that's going to be 10 multiplied by 3 centimeters, because those are the sides of my rectangle. So 10 multiplied by 3 gives me an answer of 30 centimeters squared. And my final step yet again is I'm going to add up these areas, which will give me an answer of 50 centimeters squared. So the area of this shape is actually smaller than the shape that you saw before. Okay, the final one that I'm going to show you today has been a little bit damaged, so I'm just going to repair that quickly, is this shape here. Now this is much more complicated. I've got multiple different shapes that I need to find the area of, and it could be a little bit tricky. Now, what we're going to do here, again, I'm going to split it up into shapes that I know I can find the area of. I'm actually going to make 2 rectangles here, and I know that these 2 rectangles are actually going to be the same because both of them have 3 along the top and both of them have 8 down the side. So actually that's not too difficult for me to work out. So that's going to be 8 times by 3. I'm going to do it down here so I have a little bit more room. 8 multiplied by 3 gives me an answer of 24 centimeters squared. So each of these shapes, their area is 24 centimeters squared. So I've got 2 of those. For my final shape in the middle, another rectangle, I don't actually know the value of these sides here. So I'm going to have to work that out. Now I know in total the whole side is 8 centimetres. I've already used 3 of those centimetres up here, so my final bit must be what's missing, which is 5 centimetres. So now it is a simple multiplication of 5 times by 4, which gives me an answer of 20. We did that on the previous question. So all I need to do now is add all 3 of these areas together, hidden down the bottom there, add all 3 of these areas together to give me the total area of the shape. So 4 of 4 add 0 is 8, 2 add 2 add 2 is 6, so we have 68 centimetres squared for the area of this shape. Take your time with this one, it is a little bit tricky. But I'm sure you will be absolutely fine. Okay, see you tomorrow.